Welcome to the Crimson Tide Connection, your home for Crimson Tide sports. And I'm joined today by the head coach of the Alabama baseball team, Mitch Gaspard. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Coach, you have a road trip this weekend, maybe your shortest road trip, one of the shortest road trips of the season over to Starkville to face number 12 Mississippi State. Should be a pretty good series there against the Bulldogs.
It should. You know, they've been a top 10 team most of this year, and obviously an older team and got a really good pitching staff, good offense. They're a very well-rounded ball club.
Coach, you have a half-game lead over the Bulldogs in the SEC standings. How important is this series for that, but also for seeding for the SEC tournament?
Well, the one thing in the SEC, I mean, every weekend just gets bigger and bigger as you move through the season here. So it's big, you know, like they all are. And I think for us, you know, it's like any other series. We got to go in, play one game at a time, one pitch at a time.
Talk about that SEC tournament. You're 1.5 games out of being in that top 4 for the conference tournament. How important is it to get in that top 4 where you get a bye in the SEC tournament?
Well, I think it's important, you know, for everybody shooting for that. But I think the biggest thing for us, as I said, is just take care of the next ball game. And I think when you get there, obviously, if you're in one of those spots, that's certainly a break for you. But we know how challenging this league is from weekend to weekend, and really that's where our focus has to be, more of just taking care of business the next day.
Coach, you know, as you said, it's going to be a tough weekend there in Starkville. How do you feel like you face up against Mississippi State?
Well, obviously they're a really good ball club. As I said, they have a lot of veteran players. Hunter Renfro may be the best player in the league this year. He's having a great year offensively. They've got a very deep pitching staff. So for us right now, you know, as I said, I like how we're playing right now as well. I think our rotation sets up well. And so like most of these games, it's going to come down to who can get the timely hit and can you make the big pitch at the right time. And I don't think this weekend will be any different.
Well, Coach, you have 10 games remaining in the season for the regular season, 9 of those in conference SEC games, but you have an RPI of 31. Can you talk about that, where this team is right now, and how do you feel about the postseason, your status going forward?
Well, I think right now everything matches up pretty good for us. I mean, obviously we've got the high RPI, we've got the 14th ranked strength of schedule in the country, and so we've played a very challenging schedule. So everything is lined up right now. It just really comes down to us continuing to take care of our business and continuing to get better as a baseball team. And I think if we'll do that as we move through these last 3 weeks, you know, we'll like where we're at the end.
Coach, as you said, you have a very tough schedule this season. You've played well. You showed that you can do it. You have an RPI of 31. Just talk about this team at this point in the season. This is a young team, kind of. Are you pretty pleased where you're at right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and probably where we're most pleased, is just the development of our team and the way they've continued to improve as we've moved through the season. I think right now this team's probably, just from a confidence standpoint and mentally, we're in as good of a place as we've been in all year. And I think a lot of these young players that we've been playing now, they're not so much freshmen anymore after you know, playing you know, 45 games or so. And with that, we've had great contributions from our older players, and it's a real team. They really like one another. They push one another. But I think the biggest thing is they've worked every day to continue to get better, and now we're starting to see a lot of those results on the field.
Well, Coach, it should be a great series there against Mississippi State and Starkville. I know there's some Alabama fans around in Mississippi. They should come over to Starkville and check out some great baseball. And it's not too far of a drive from Tuscaloosa either, is it?
It's not. You know, it's an hour and a half, and this has been a good week for us. Our guys have been in finals. We've been able to take a couple of days off. We'll get back on the field on Wednesday. So obviously our guys are excited to take the hour-and-a-half road trip, you know, and not the 5-hour trip. But it's right there, a great venue at Mississippi State, and always have nice crowds there. So it's a weekend we're looking forward to.
That Friday night game against the Bulldogs against number 12 ranked Mississippi State is 6 p.m. That game will be on ESPNU. If you can't make it over to Starkville, on Saturday it's at 2 and on Sunday at 1:30. Hey, Coach, good luck this weekend against the Bulldogs.
Thank you.
For head coach Mitch Gaspard, I'm Christopher England, and that's it for this edition of the Crimson Tide Connection.